Thank you again for connecting with today's The Reframe Brain podcast episode. This is Erica Savage, the founder and host, extending a personal invitation for you to join our community where you can receive my 5 best brain health tips and a playlist curated with you in mind. Please go to thereframedbrain.com. Thank you again and be well.
Hello to you and happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining the Reframe Brain podcast. I am the founder and host, Erica Savage Wilson, and I'm so glad to have you on yet another episode. If you are watching us by YouTube, thank you so much for viewing. Would ask that you would please hit the like and also the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be alerted when the Reframe Brain comes to you every first and third Monday of every month. And if you so happen to be listening to us by one of your select podcast platforms, thank you so much for trusting us. Thank you so much for listening. I would ask that you would please leave a review so you can let other people know how it goes down on the Reframe Brain podcast, where we center brain health and unseen injuries. So on today, Reframe Brain community, we have yet another auspicious guest that is gracing the Reframe Brain podcast guest seat. And before I bring her in, I just want to introduce her a bit and let you know exactly who she is. So on today's show, we have holistic health practitioner, CEO of Nabila's Essentials, and the CEO of Wellness Vibes Therapy, Nabila Sonia Thames. She is a licensed nurse, an author, poet, intuitive healer, educator, and has a passion for helping others connect to the abundant wellness that awaits them both from within and outside. And just to list just a couple of her certifications, she's a licensed nurse, a licensed master cosmetologist, esthetician, licensed massage and neuromuscular therapist, a nutritional counselor, life personal coach, hypnosis practitioner, Reiki master, sound and vibrational healer, and mindfulness meditation practitioner. So we do have an expert on deck. If you would, with me, Reframe Brain family, give a warm welcome to Sonia Thames. Welcome.
Thank you. I am so honored and happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Could not think to have someone better, particularly when thinking about what we do here on the Reframe Brain is we center brain health and unseen injuries. And that naming off all of your certifications was very intentional because a lot of the work that you do, not all of it, but there's a good portion of the work that you do that does focus on the unseen. And so, want to get people a little bit more familiarized with you, Sonia. If you could introduce the Reframe Brain audience into your decision to become a holistic health practitioner, and then also how that dovetails into nutrition as well.
Well, my interest in holistic health it's a lifelong interest. I remember being a kid watching people who are sick. My mom is a nurse, has been my whole life. My dad was he was a PhD science professor and environmental scientist. So I saw and heard the disease process be discussed often. Our home in the neighborhood back in Cameroon, West Africa, was where a lot of my mom's patients, neighbors, co-workers would always come. Our house was the one people came to who had some injury or some disease that, something was going on that was urgent. My mom
Mhm.
did a lot of labor and delivery. So we saw lots of pregnant women. They came for consultation. She never had a clinic at home. So I grew up seeing the absence of wellness in different varieties. And
Wow.
that triggered an interest in me in how the body works. And something in me knew that even though science, pharmacology, and medicine has a huge role in our well being, I also
Mhm.
understood it to be more from a maintenance standpoint because the original template was designed to be well. So
Mm.
my interest was always how can we keep it well? How can we maintain that? How can we return to that? So throughout all my educational pursuits, which are still ongoing, I've always been geared towards the whole body, the whole person, the mind, body, and spirit, not just the body, which is what most of modern science for the last 100 years has focused on, just the body.
Mhm.
If this part is broken, let's cut it out and throw it away.
Mm.
And it seems like in these next 50 to 100 years that we are living through right now, which we may not make the 100, there is now a connection bridging the mind. So there is that aspect we're seeing now in wellness and healthcare. So I've always been interested in the whole person, the whole body, the
Mm.
influence of the environment on what the natural original template was. So yeah.
I love that very pictorial background and just the influence of your parents, what their scholarship was, and it just brings us back to let us know that what we see, the experiences that we have, it was often preached from the pulpit that God wastes no experience. So
Mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
you do what you do, and then even and just for the audience to know, Nabila and I have known each other for a little over 20 years. She's
Yeah,
known my son since he was small. And so when you
yes.
talk about that house that everyone went to, she had this beautiful Victorian 3-story house. And in that house, the bottom floor was where she did hair. That's where you can get a manicure, pedicure. That is where you could, after you got your massage on the third floor, you could come down into the jacuzzi, and then you could kind of let your muscles be massaged a bit. I mean, in that home that she had, because she lived on the upper level as well, there was a gym in there. There was that focus on wellness, and there was that a bit of a mirroring of those of us that would come in one way but then exit another way. So I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate you sharing that background with the audience, and so for the audience to know this is something that she has continued to do. And so when you talked about the piece where science has said, okay, and I love what you said, that there's something that's not well, let's cut it and throw it away. So from that, you have a unique understanding of nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
and how many of our struggles with the balance in our body is specific to emotional and hormonal change. And you used the example when we were chatting a couple of weeks ago, that people look in the family, oh, everybody in my family's this size and I'm that size. What's wrong with me? I need to diet. So I would love for you to help walk us through how your approach and nuances of nutrition, and what that looks like. What is the body saying to us, and then how that's positively had impacts on your clients that come to see you.
Sure. So I offer a variety of services, a lot of which are virtual. But one of the things a lot of people come concerned with concerns in the past, there was a lot of nutrition. There were like detoxes, and I'm experiencing this issue, and I want to get a nutritional suggestion of how to go about resolving it or improving it. And now the focus or the shift has been more towards emotional distress,
Mhm.
anxiety, depression, and different things that people experience that often are sporadic or episodic, or they're spurred by a situation, something's changed. Now, I do want to
Mhm.
make it clear I'm not a medical doctor, and I never recommend people go outside of the recommended recommendation of their healthcare professional. So what my work is designed to be in conjunction with it, and something that the person actually is in charge of for themselves. I like to empower my clients. I don't want to
Mm.
be the dependent, like a crutch, because that can also happen. Tell me what to do and
Mhm.
I'll do it so I can get better. And what I try to do is help my clients become more in tune and more aware of their own body.
Mhm.
So instead of saying, oh, you need to go get on this diet or do that diet because this is what so and so did and it worked for them, or I did this diet and it worked for me, we have a consultation, we have a conversation that looks into the different aspects of our existence. We have what I call the four roommates. There is the physical body that we're aware of, and that's really the last of the roommates. But before that, you have the spiritual, you have the mental, you have the emotional body, and then the physical body. All
Yeah.
four of those members are what compile and compose our present manifestation, our present existence. So let's walk back a bit and see what these four roommates are saying. What's going on spiritually? What's going on emotionally? What's going on mentally? What are your dominant thoughts?
Mhm.
And this is not a typical approach towards nutrition or towards, well, probably for well-being, but those are important because it encourages the client to reflect on themselves. What's going
Mhm.
on here? So if they have, maybe they're dealing with some kind of depressive episode, what happened leading up to that? What was going on before that? And there may have been death in the family, job change, pressure from work, their kids are maybe teenage, who knows what things could be. We're all
Yeah.
emotional, mental beings, so we're thinking all the time, we're reacting emotionally, and the emotions are the message the body is giving you that you have
Mhm.
strayed from the original template, which is well-being.
Wow.
It's not there as a punishment. And my 10-year-old daughter likes to go, I have anger issues, I have anger issues. I'm like, what does that mean? I get really angry
Mm.
and I can't control it. I'm like, okay, so you don't have anger issues, you experience bursts of anger.
Love it.
There's a difference. When you say I have anger issues, that means you're projecting that perspective into everything, or
Mhm.
situations that might be uncomfortable. So that's a really simple example. That's the mental, the thoughts, the
Yeah.
emotional, the outburst. And what happens when you get anger issues or when you get these outbursts? What do you do typically?
Yeah.
Or I might punch something, or I go cry, or I want to, whatever, I want to go eat ice cream, whatever it may be. And so just
Mhm.
by having that conversation, we start to peel back the layers so we can get to the source of the issue. It didn't just drop out of the sky. And if it does drop out of the sky, then that's probably the best way um, the powers that be thought you should know. So, yes, that's my approach. So that goes all the way across to just really being in tune with the body, down to food. What items are you eating? What do you
Yeah.
crave?
Yeah.
What do you not want to eat? Are you honoring the messages your body is giving you? Because as soon
Mm.
as we start tuning into that, we start honoring, because it is more intelligent truly than we are. Our body is its own separate entity, it's its own separate being with its own instructions that came with its template. We don't
Yeah.
tell it how to digest, it just digests. We don't tell it how to breathe, it breathes.
Yeah.
So we either get with it and line up, and then you can have kind of a more harmonious existence. And when you get a little bump in the road, you're able to very quickly tune in, what's going on? Wait, what's going on here? So yeah.
I love that approach. And so, again, that's the four roommates. You heard it here first. That is Sonia's approach. And you said that is mental, that is the mental, physical is the last, emotional, the
Yeah.
spiritual, and then that the physical is last. Those are the four roommates. And the question that you posed, that I think that's something that we all should sit with, is are you honoring the messages that your body is giving you?
Yes.
Um, and I love that because that really does feed into the therapeutic services that you have available. So you are based in the Atlanta area, but you are a global person. We are in spaces where we're able to be accessed. And you mentioned that you do have the virtual services for the global community.
Hmm.
One of the services that I engaged, and this was probably about maybe 4 months before my accident in March, was a sound bath because I was just going, ripping, running, this, that. And so, if you would please share with the Reframe Brain community what exactly a sound bath is, what that sound bath therapy is, and then what are the benefits of it, and how often do you recommend that for your clients?
So the sound bath is a form of, it's a natural therapy. Vibrational sound healing is basically listening to or being present when certain instruments are being played. So if you've ever been to a live concert, you know how different that feels than listening to the music on a CD, or listening, well, I guess CDs are outdated now, but streaming it, you can hear the drums, the guitars, you can really, if they're doing a guitar solo, you really feel the music. Well, Our bodies, like I said earlier, are amazing, intelligent beings. They are aware of 99.999% more than we are cognitively aware of. So when you enter a room and the temperature is cold, you probably start shivering, you huddle up. That's because the body has perceived the temperature difference. And so with sound, and you don't see the temperature difference, you just feel it.
Right.
So with sound healing, this is a service or session in which I play crystal bowls, I play Himalayan bowls, I have an ocean drum, which makes the sound of an ocean. Literally, it sounds like you're at the beach. Rain stick, there's a whole plethora of instruments. And I feel like as many as I have, there's more to get. There's chimes. You know, if any of you have a wind chime outside in front of your house, or behind your house, when the wind blows, you hear this little tinkling of bells. So what happens during a sound bath is you're lying back or sitting back, preferably with your eyes closed, but they don't have to be. Probably you will close them because you feel, and it's a very immersive experience. So all these different instruments are played. They're all tuned to different musical notes, especially the
Mhm.
crystal bowls. So our body is an energy being. Even though it's solid and tangible and we can hold it, it's energy. If you take a high powered microscope and look at each part of the body, tissue, you just find that it's like a conglomeration of nothing. There's really nothing
Wow.
there. It's
Wow.
these I can't explain it. But anyway, they all have that inner knowledge of what to do. And so when you're immersed in this sound all around you, right there by the instruments, your body receives the frequencies of these different instruments the same way it receives information about the temperature in the room, and it knows what
Mm.
to do. The sound, the frequencies, the sound waves, which are also energy, are received by the body and used however it needs it. So I like to explain during before a sound bath that it's like having wrinkled clothes. If you've washed clothes and you forgot to put them in the dryer and they got dry in the washer, or they
Mhm.
dried kind of wrinkled, a sound bath is like taking an iron, or well, taking a steamer and steaming it. The water molecules are vaporized and it just goes where it needs to go on the fabric. And next thing you know, the fabric is like unwrinkled. That's what a sound bath does for you. Your whole body
Wow.
receives the blood cells, the bones, everything gets is infused by this energetic information that's transformative. And so it increases your resonance, which means that you feel better. Most people go into a daydream like state. Some people fall asleep. We have some people who are like knocked out snoring because they're so relaxed. You
Mhm.
also get, and there's a lot of science behind what's happening in the body, which I don't really need to go into. You can look it up. But one thing I will tell you is that science has found that a 1 hour sound bath or even a 45-minute sound bath brings you into such deep relaxation, it's equivalent to REM sleep. 3 hours of REM
Wow.
sleep is the restorative repair work time that our body needs during sleep. And we
Wow.
get REM sleep in episodes of like an hour and a half, hour and a half. But in a
Yeah.
1 hour sound bath, you can get that equivalent of what you would get during REM sleep. The
Wow.
reparative effects are amazing. People often say they don't feel pain they felt, and I don't ask who feels what. It's just
Yeah.
you come in, you relax, and you lie back and enjoy it. And so I do a group sound bath 2 or 3 times a month where we have the yoga studio open and people come in, lay on your mats, cover it with a blanket. Some people put eye pillows on and just zone out. It's really just it's zoning inward, but you're tuning everything out except the sounds. I also do private sound baths, which are one-on-one. The client's on the massage table or on the yoga mat on the floor, and the bowls are placed around them or directly on them. And I mean, it's a blissful experience. So I know everybody can't really have one necessarily in their area, but that's something that I offer as well virtually. But do look in your area. I would really encourage you to find a sound bath or sound therapy provider in your area just so you can experience it one-on-one. It's amazing.
I love that. And I stand in strong recommendation of exactly what Sonia is saying. It will definitely reap good benefits for you. And as Sonia has said, and I have this disclaimer on my podcast that I am not a medical practitioner, a therapy provider. And Sonia has said that too. Always do connect with your primary care provider to let them know
Hmm.
what it is that you would like to explore, some different things that you would like to do. So you definitely want to do that as well. Before we exit, we want to let people know how they can connect with you. I mentioned that you're the CEO of Nabila's Essentials. You have a skincare line that I am using. If you look at Sonia's skin, and she's going to provide her social media handles, her skin has always been beautiful. It's always been, and she's always talked about it dewy. It's not supposed to be like this dry look to it, but she's always had beautiful, dewy, blemish-free skin. And so she has developed a skincare line that she thankfully sent to me with such a blessing. I've only been using it for less than a week, and I feel like my skin has, there's some refreshment there. It's a little bit more moisturized than it was before because of all of the different kind of experiences that I've had over this year of healing. So if you would please let us know about your skincare line. Please let us know how we can connect with you on social media, and if you have any upcoming events that the Reframe Brain community can engage in.
Okay, so I'll start with the social media and connection. You can learn more about me and my services at wellnessvibes.net. Wellness Vibes, that's VIBES.net. And also on Facebook and Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram, Wellness Vibes Therapy. And you can also look up my name, Nabila Sonia Thames. So if you look up my name, it'll show the other Instagram handles, Nabila Sonia Thames, Wellness Vibes Therapy, and The Alchemist Poet. I am a writer as well. I love to inspire and uplift. There's some really deep stuff and there's some light, fun stuff. Oh, TikTok. I'm also on TikTok, Wellness Vibes Therapy and The Alchemist Poet. So whatever events or upcoming things I have going on, I typically share there. I have to get with LinkedIn. It's just so much to do, work and all. Like, it's like we need a person to handle all that.
Yeah.
So as far as the skincare line goes, there's information about that on my website, wellnessvibes.net/shop. So my skincare line is a plant-based therapeutic line for all skin. Literally, I would say from preteen to ancient, you can use it. You can benefit. Men, women. Um, it's plant-based, and when you open the bottles, when you use it, you can smell it. So they're sulfate-free, paraben-free, vegan. What's the other thing? Eco-friendly, so it's nothing in there that's harmful for the environment. Um, each of the kits, if you choose to purchase a kit, gives you about 2 to 3 months supply, at least a 2 month supply of your skincare regimen. It's really simple. I'm a very simple, no fluff kind of person. So if you're one of those who is like, I don't want to do a whole lot of things with my skin, this is the line for you. You cleanse, you use your serum, you moisturize, and you can do that same regimen at night. Now, there are other products that are in development that will be launched later on. I do have the basics for right now, and there's also an exfoliant, a scrub, which you would use 2 or 3 times a week. Our skin is already intelligent. What we put in our bodies, what you nourish yourself with, produces the outcome you see on the surface. And when you become more mindful about the messages your body is giving you, you will know very quickly. Your body does not want peanuts. Mine does not want peanuts. And when I eat peanuts, if there were any other indications that I didn't notice, I noticed the pimples, big bumps that were itchy or sore or tender. So that's something. There are a lot of people with food allergies or food sensitivities. Actually, it's more sensitivities than allergies. It will become an allergy if you keep ignoring the sensitivity. So pay attention to your body. If you're eating lots of sugar, I'm not anti-sugar, but be mindful. How much sugar is in your coffee? How much juice are you
Mm.
consuming? How much soda are you consuming? You don't need a certified anybody to tell you, you know. So listen to your body, honor those messages. What's making you bloated? What's making you constipated? Stop eating it or stop eating it as often. Who are you saying yes to that you should be saying no to? Honor those messages. Your body is your helper. It's your friend. Like, get to know it on a different level than just the commercial said this, so I'm going to do that. You know, just because a double shot of caramel syrup comes with that drink at the coffee shop, do you have to have the double shot? Like, can you do one shot? Can you have, like, pay attention. So that's it.
Well, Nabila, Sonia, Thames, it has definitely been an honor. I'm so glad that the Reframe Brain audience has now been formally introduced to you. You all, please do connect with her on social media, Instagram. As she said, she's on TikTok, active there as well. You will feel the instant connection, and her through line is honor the messages that your body is sending you. Nabila, Sonia, Thames, all of this information will be in the show notes so you all can connect with her. Thank you, my dear sister. I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for having me. I am looking forward to connecting with you and just helping you have the most fun life possible in this body that you have right now. I know I am, so I think everybody else should.
I
Thank you.
agree. I certainly agree. And so, thank you all again. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Leave us a review. And remember, Reframe Brain community, we do this work, we journey this journey one beautiful breath at a time. I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you again for connecting with today's The Reframe Brain podcast episode. This is Erica Savage, the founder and host, extending a personal invitation for you to join our community where you can receive my 5 best brain health tips and a playlist curated with you in mind. Please go to thereframedbrain.com. Thank you again and be well.